Hello and welcome to my channel. Your girl is back with another interesting video, but before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe. Let's get the channel to 20k. In this video, a sister shares her artisanal experience in Italy. I don't know if you guys remember that video of a creator who said he was shoved out of the elevator in Italy not until they found out that he was American, and said that was not Italia. This is not Italia. Now this sister says that that is Italia, and that is Italy with its full chest. In this video, a sister shares how she experienced the over disrespect and artisanal she experienced in Italy. She talked about assault, people acting like she was there to rob them whenever she asked for directions, stares of disgust, all out rudeness, and just microaggressions worse than she has ever experienced in America. She even wrote an article talking about all of this in 2018. Here is her video.
Did you see the video where that creator said he was shoved out of an elevator in Italy, but when they all found out he was American, they were like, this is not Italia, this is not Italia. That is very much Italia. That is Italy with its whole chest. I am so anti-Italy that if I was given an all-expenses-paid trip to the Amalfi Coast, Rome, wherever, I'm not going. Like I said in that video, thank you for the Renaissance, thank you for Nutella, Gucci, Prada, the other brands I can't afford. Let me tell you one thing. Give me all that, toss the rest of the country in the ocean. I spent 3 months in Italy in 2013, and then I went back in 2018 for a short while. And let me tell you, even after growing up in the southern United States, I have never experienced the overt disrespect and racism that I experienced in Italy. I'm talking assault. I'm talking people avoiding me in the street. I'm talking people acting like I was there to rob them because I'm asking for directions. Stares of disgust, all-out rudeness, just microaggressions worse than I have experienced in America. I wrote all about this in 2018, so you can go ahead and check out my story on the New York Times. And to this day, people still message me to say that they've experienced the same things and they're happy to find out that they weren't alone. I actually met a couple nice people there, and one of my closest friends I met while I was studying abroad. The rest of that country, though, no. And if you don't believe me, just Google race relations in Italy.
Artisanal in Italy deals with the relationship between Italians and other populations of different ethnicities and other nationalities which has existed throughout the country. Italy is one of the countries with high rate of art to the cyst. To understand what this lady in the video is talking about or what she was saying, I remember my friend sharing her own experience, and it wasn't good at all. To prove all this, I have collected a few videos for you. Let's check them out and just hear how people were sharing their own experiences as well. When I get back, we dig deep into this. Here are the videos.
So I noticed that out of all Italian cities, Rome probably gets the worst rep out of all of them for being racist or not inclusive of other people, especially foreigners. And I happen to be born in Rome, and I was raised there for a couple years, and I wanted to share an experience that happened to me and give it a little bit of context. For context, this is my father. He is full Italian, and this is my sister, and she and I had about the same complexion when we were kids. And this is my beautiful mama. She is American. One day when I was a kid, my dad, my sister, and I went to a bakery to pick up some pastries or something, and there was an older lady working at the bakery. And the lady says to my dad, "Signore, che bella cosa che avete fatto, adottare queste bambine africane." Which means, "Sir, what a beautiful thing you've done to adopt these little African children." She said that in Italian, assuming we did not understand, and my dad responded saying, "No, they're actually my children. Their mom is African American." And even then, it wasn't clicking in her brain because she was like, but they're tan and they have curly hair and brown eyes and you are white and you have blue eyes. Although that was pretty out of pocket, I feel like a lot of people just are very ignorant and not educated, especially older generations, because if you think about it, they didn't really grow up with seeing diverse people and different ethnicities around. They really just saw people of their own kind. So to them, it just doesn't like click in their brain how that could be a possibility.
When they all found out he was American, they were like,
I really don't understand why people continue to gas up Italy or in Europe as a whole as this ultimate vacation destination. Like, I'm really gonna need y'all to decolonize y'all minds when y'all booking a vacation, bro, because this shit is fucking ridiculous. I went to Italy back in April for an all-paid trip for my job based on performance, and I stayed in a 5-star hotel. All the excursions and everything was paid for. Breakfast and lunch was paid for, and you got some money towards dinner and all this type of shit. I'm telling y'all now, if somebody told me I was banned from Rome for the rest of my life, I really would not give a fucking damn. If you told me that I could never go back to the country of Italy ever again, I really would not give a fuck. And I really didn't experience too many problems with racism. I got a lot of stares and ugly looks, but you know, I really don't be giving a fuck about that shit. But I'm telling y'all, bro, like, me and my homeboy went to like this 4-star restaurant, bro, and I had ordered fish and some clams, and the only reason that was good because it was fresh and it came from Tuscany. They barely seasoned it, and it was all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want the best Italian food, you might as well just go take your New York City or some other major city here in the U.S. and call fucking rap, because the shit is not that good, bro. The only reason people be gassing up food over in Europe is because a lot of times their ingredients are more fresh than ours here in America, bro. It literally just be the fact that they have fresh ingredients. Their shit is not super processed. That's literally it, bro. Because my homeboy ordered this big ass steak. The shit was big as hell. The shit was like $100 steak. You could literally tell all they did was take that fucking steak, flip it on one side in the pan, flip it on the other, and threw the bitch right back on the plate. This big ass steak, this $100 steak, just bleeding all over the fucking plate like a First 48 scene. The shit fucking ridiculous. So I'm like, bro, you gotta send that shit back. He like, yeah, bro, like this ain't even like medium rare. This shit damn near like rare as fuck. So he send it back, have him cook it some more. Then they come back and he like, yo, y'all got steak sauce? Y'all got anything I can put on my steak? He's like, the waiter like, we got olive oil. Who gonna put olive oil on a steak that's already been cooked in olive oil, bro? What is wrong? I'm telling y'all, bro, like, the only good meal I had was at that restaurant because I ordered fish. And the only reason I ordered fish was because when I walked in, I seen it said fresh from Tuscany. And it was fresh from Tuscany. Like, I seen them literally bringing the shit in as I was like walking into the restaurant. That's the only reason I ordered that. And that was the best meal I had. And it was barely seasoned, dog. I'm telling you, bro, like, people have got to stop gassing up Italy, bro. It's really not all that. I'm telling you, it stink. It smell like piss and shit. The people fucking are musty as hell. Everybody fucking smokes cigarettes, and the food is fucking garbage, bro.
If you're black and live in Italy, stitch this. Tell me the first time you experienced racism while living here. I'll go first. I'm gonna try to make this quick. So I'm sitting at a pizzeria in Naples. It's the first time I've ever been in Naples, and as I'm sitting there, some woman leans over to me and says, "Where are your features from?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Where are your features from?" And I'm like, "You mean like my background?" And she's like, "Yeah, what country are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm American. We don't know what country we come from. But I did DNA test, so I know that I come from Nigeria." And she goes, "Oh, dangerous." What? She's like, "Oh yeah, Nigerians are dangerous. They always look like they're up to something." So I ignore her and she keeps on talking. Then she says, "Are you sure you're not mixed with anything else?" And I'm entertaining her, so I'm like, "Yeah, also Cameroon." And she goes, "Oh, that's where your lips are from." Then she goes and says, "I want a black baby. Come for part 2.
I basically just had the most experience in Italy. I've been here for like 10 days now, and the racism isn't like fully apparent, but it's apparent enough where you like feel it, but it's not just in your face. You know, they'll seat you in the back room, they'll seat you somewhere in the corner away from things, but I haven't been feeling it to this extent that I did just now. I left my hotel room with so much joy, and I was about to read my book. I was so excited to have breakfast alone. I get to the spot super close to my hotel, and they were closed yesterday when we got there at 3. It's now 1 p.m. He's like, "Table for one?" I'm like, "Yes, table for one, please." He puts me at this table behind a wall, and I'm like, "Can I sit at this one by the window?" And he's like, "Oh no, that's reserved." Mind you, there's like 10 other tables around that table, and he's like, "Sorry, that's reserved." And then I see this other darker skinned group that's behind a wall, not in front of the window, a white family in front of the window. And I was like, no. I asked him if they're serving breakfast anymore, and he was like, "No breakfast, it's time for lunch." And then he goes over to the white table, and he's so friendly with them, laughing with them, having a ball. And I was like, "Bushra, yes, this is racism."
Tia Taylor, a Black American expert, influencer, and YouTuber who has lived in Milan since 2014, expressed her frustration with the situation in an Instagram story. "I'm tired of being one of 3 people in this country talking about articism and seeing nothing positive coming out from it." Taylor said before Taylor moved to Italy, she was warned by friends that Italians were artists. She didn't believe them. Even after moving to Italy, she felt the odd encounters she had with Italians must be based on discomfort with non-white foreigners, not articism. When she learned Italian, her perspective began to shift. On 14th April 2019, she published a YouTube video titled "Denied Entry on the Freccia Rossa Because I'm Black." In the video, she recounts her experience at the Roma Termina train station, what she refers to as the first time she was discriminated against. Though she had a business class train ticket, the conductor told her the train was full before allowing a group of white Italians on board. Drew Simpson, a Black American studying at the American University of Rome, was also unprepared for the articism she encountered in Italy. Her first taste of Italy was Fiorano, a tiny town in the northern region of Emilia-Romagna. When she arrived in Fiorano, a town her host family assured her was safe, her experience was not at all what she had prepared for. "I was constantly approached by old white men being solicited for prostitution," she says. "When I walked down the street, people would slow down their cars, roll down the windows, honk, yell, and sometimes I was even followed." When she told her host family about the incidents, they shrugged and said that's how people perceive Africans. Since moving to Rome in 2018, Simpson says she has experienced less outward and racial harassment, but the negative attitudes and perceptions about Africans still stand. She says, "When I walk into a store with a straight hairstyle, I'm often greeted in English and greeted pleasantly. When my hair is in braids, twists, or any African hairstyle, the welcome is much colder, or sometimes I'm not even greeted." She is acutely aware of her privilege as an American in a city that runs on tourism. Many high school books still claim that Italy went to Africa to bring civilization. The narrative Italians learn regarding the fascist period is the Italian soldiers were good people who meant no harm. Now, anti-immigrant rhetoric has been circulating for generations, says Professor Lucia. She is a narrative Italian and a professor of communications at the American University of Rome. In March 2019, she gave a lecture at AUR titled "For White Girls Only: Hair, Makeup, and the Racialized Experiences of Afro-Italian YouTubers." Growing up, she describes articism seemed like something aimed only at people who came from outside Italy. Immigrants and refugees, those who did not have the money or connections to integrate into society. Migrants were coming, they were taking our jobs, they were putting us at risk, they were dangerous, especially Black people, she says, shaking her head. This was the general idea the media gave. Then, like now, there was no widespread acknowledgement of the existing minority of non-palm color Italian citizens. Public discourses never have truly considered the possibility that we would one day have non-white Italian citizens, she said. Italy's complicated relationship with immigration has existed for decades. According to the International Handbook of the Demography of Race and Ethnicity, in the 1970s, Italy experienced a wave of immigration from Tunisia. Tunisians were dehumanized in the media, and strict travel policies were passed to make border entry difficult for them. Nonetheless, many Tunisians were able to bypass the restrictions. In the decades following, migrant waves from Morocco, Sri Lanka, the Philippines, the Balkans, and these created mounting tensions in Italy. We have come to the end of the video, and we just heard different experiences from different people. If you have been to Italy and feel like sharing your experience as well, then feel free to share your experience in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.